BBC's Children in Need has announced the first round of funding from its We Move Fund Youth Social Action Programme. 66 organisations across the UK have been awarded a total of more than £2.2 million, and it's money that will go towards programmes empowering black children and young people through youth social action. It's part of a 10-year programme first announced in 2020 on BBC Radio 1 Extra, working with children in need to support the programme. Well, with me in the studio is the BBC Radio 1 DJ Richie Brave, who first announced the We Move Fund on his show, and also with us Priscilla Igwe, Managing Director and one of the founders of the New Black Film Collective, which is one of the organisations benefiting from this first round of funding. Welcome, both of you. Thank you for coming in. And Priscilla, tell me more about the fund that you work with, because it's not just about getting kids to get involved in making film, is it? It's very special kids with a very particular background, and it's about advocating for their lived experience.
Absolutely. Basically, these young people have sickle cell disease or they carry the traits, and it's important for them to be safe because there's been some issues in the NHS where they may not have the full treatment, and unfortunately there's some cases where people have lost their lives. So we're empowering the young people to educate people, whether it's health care, primary or emergency care, or whether it's stop and search situation, whether it's at school or the workplace, just so people know around them about the disease and what to watch out for, because a lot of people still don't know.
So tell us then about sickle cell disease.
Well, sickle cell disease basically is when the blood cells are sickle cell shaped, and they may get blocked, and that may cause a lack of oxygen getting around the body, so that it could cause people to collapse, have extraordinary pain, be screaming and need pain relief. So sometimes when, especially young black boys and girls may need care and they say they need pain relief, they may be seen to be trying to get drugs or something like that. That's a worst case scenario.
That happens.
That does happen. That still happens, unfortunately. So if they are able to advocate, if they're able to get things like special bracelets, like people with diabetes have, or carry a card, so at least they can inform the person, look, I'm not making this up, because sometimes they're not believed, and we really have a problem here. So, because other diseases like, say, for instance, cystic fibrosis, that's, well known, and it has better funding, 30 times more funding. So we need to advocate, as young people will be empowered to advocate and hopefully change policies so that they will get the same amount of funding to get that research, because I think a cure is out there for this disease.
It doesn't take much of a leap to think how demoralising and difficult it must be for someone who's suffering from something to not be believed. So this must be very empowering, this project, giving those kids a voice and a way to explain it to others.
Big time, and we're so grateful for this funding. We're getting amazing amount of money, 50k over 18 months. I think we're getting a lot done during that time. And a film, if you could create short films, and just young people, they're so clever with social media and their mobile phones, they could create stories and all these sort of things that will get the idea and understanding of what this condition can really do, because it can kill, unfortunately, or shorten extend people's life experience and their opportunities. So, and the life expectancy is what I was trying to say earlier.
That's right.
So
I understood.
Really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
And Richie, as I mentioned, this is one of 66 groups that are benefiting from the money. Tell us a bit more about the other groups and how the decisions were taken around where the money goes.
Yeah, so £2.2 million, and this was championed by young black people, so that's how the decisions were made. 20 young black people across the UK came together to make this decision. And essentially for us on 1 Extra, our tagline is amplifying black music and culture, and part of black music and culture is the experience. Those experiences and those cultures are the things that create the music. So for us, it was just, if we looked at what happened in 2020 following the murder of George Floyd, there was a massive move towards equity being placed into black communities and offering black children experiences that they hadn't previously had before. And equity is an important part of the process. Sometimes I think it's something that we dance around or we're scared to have a conversation about. So for us on 1 Extra, championing it was a no-brainer for us. It's really exciting for me. And
when the groups that are getting the money get the call, it must be a big moment for them because it can have such an impact.
Yeah, I mean, people were in tears. And interestingly, so 9 p.m. this Sunday coming, we have a very special show that is focused on one of the groups that won or, you know, were given the money. And also we've got Mercy Shabemba from Children in Need coming on the show as well to talk a bit about the process.
And you obviously have been actively involved. You've described the role that you play as kind of amplifying the voice. How important has it felt to you to be doing this?
Well, I am a black man from South London who grew up in, you know, some of these, I went to some of these initiatives and they were underfunded when I went to them when I was young. I won't give away my age on air. But, you know, for me, there is an invested interest. So I came up through community work. That's why I'm so passionate about what I do. And my show is a talk show. We talk about black issues as opposed to play music. So for me, this underpins exactly what I do on my show and exactly what we do on One Extra as a station. You know, the culture and the experience is integral to the music that we put out. So for me, it's just, I was welling up when I was in the room with them because I think what we're doing is amazing. We're changing lives, essentially. I don't think we always acknowledge having these initiatives feel great, but I don't think what we don't always acknowledge, for a lot of us, we're changing the course and the lives for a lot of young people. And if we look at us communities collectively, it's important that we're pouring into children because it makes life better for us as adults.
That is very true. Thank you so much. Nice to talk to you both, Richie and Priscilla. Thank you.
Thank you.